Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Coffee on the Couch. I'm still waiting for my guest to come in, but hey, we will just give him a couple of minutes to see. Probably it's just all these technical hitches, but hey, we're here and we're going to have a conversation. How was your week? Mine was good. I had a good week, and I trust yours was as well. Now, you all know what Coffee on the Couch is all about. It's about a relationship talk. And all through this month of October, I've been doing something called marriage maintenance, where I call it Spice It Up. And if you live in this part of the world, you would know that October is all about the spice. So they have the pumpkin spice latte, which I love. They have all the spices that comes with the as the weather changes, and I love autumn. I love all the beautiful colors, the browns, the greens, the yellows, the orange. So October is actually a very beautiful month. And so it's a time to talk about spicing up your marriage, spicing up your relationship. And and so that is what I've been doing I think every day throughout this month. I've been leaving little snippets on my Facebook pages and on the other groups as well, just so that we talk about relationships, we talk about marriage, how to spice it up, marriage maintenance. Marriage is beautiful, but trust me, if you've been in for a long time, it gets to a point where it becomes like a routine, because that's what happens. You fall into routine. You know what you're gonna do when you wake up. You know how your day is gonna go, and so everything is routine. And once you get into a routine, it gets to a point where it becomes quite stale and very boring. And so once a while, you need to spice it up. You need to give it a bit of a kick. And that is what we've been doing all this month of October. And so this morning, as we wait for our guests to come on, we will still talk about marriage, spicing it up. How do you spice your marriage up? Listen, marriage is beautiful. But marriage can also be very, very boring if you don't know how to put a kick in, if you don't know how to spice it up. Spicing it up is not all about the six, 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 six. No, there's more to marriage than just going on the bed and banging and getting up. No, there's more to marriage than that. And so this morning, guys, grab your coffee, like I've done, and let's talk about spicing it up. Spice it up, marriage maintenance. It doesn't matter how long you've been married, it doesn't matter whether you've been married for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. That you don't want to fall into a routine where you get up, you know what you're doing, that kind of a thing. How are you? I'm fine. Where are you going? I'm going to work. What time come back? 6 o'clock. What will you eat? Everything. That kind of a thing. It gets a bit boring. But if you're able to sustain it, you know how to spice it, you know how to put a kick in, you know how to maintain the glow, you know how to go with the flow as each day comes. And so, yeah, this morning we're going to talk about spice it up. And all through October, if you follow me on Facebook or on YouTube, you'd know that I leave all these snippets every day, so that we get into the routine of spicing it up, not just leaving it to chance. Case sera, what will be. Listen, marriage is wonderful. Marriage can be beautiful. It can be intoxicating. It can be blissful. At the same time, it can be rusty. It can just be routine. It can just be boring. It can just be, the usual stuff. But if you have a spouse that goes with the flow with you, it's quite easy to change things. I usually say that marriage is not a one-way street. Neither is it 50%. It's not 50-50. Marriage is 100%. And so if you want to spice it up, it has to be done by both the partners in it. It's a partnership. You're in it together. So if marriage is not working well, trust me, it is boring. But if it's working well, trust me, it is beautiful. I've tasted both sides and I know it. And so when I'm talking about marriage, in as much as it is part of what I do as a relationship strategist, I talk about all these things, but also I talk from the practical side as well, because I've been married I've known my husband for 2 decades. So yeah, I've actually known him for 21 years and I've been married to him for 19. So I know what I'm talking about when it comes to practicality as well. It's not just about the mundane, stuff that the book. It's not all about the book, but it's also about um, practical as well. So it's not just theory. No, I know what I'm talking about when I talk about marriage. When it's boring, it's boring. But when it's working well, it is working well and it's beautiful. I mean, the good news is that you don't need to remain in the norm. you can actually break out of the norm and make it work. You can break out of the norm and make it beautiful. Hey guys, good morning. If you've just joined me, welcome to my Coffee on the Couch. And we're talking about marriage maintenance. So share this with your friends, invite your friends to come on, leave me your comments, leave me your questions, and then we would go with the flow this morning. My guest is not on, so hey, I'm just going to take things and do it my way. And so yeah, leave me your comments, leave me your questions that you want to talk about, and then let's go with the flow, okay? But don't forget, you need to grab a cup of coffee because it's all about Coffee on the Couch, where we have a relationship chat. So, do you know that when you started dating your spouse, it was so beautiful. You could talk and get on with conversations and all that. I remember very, very well, and I think I've said this so many times or a couple of times, that when I met my husband and we were dating, we could talk on the phone till like 1 a.m. and I would go to work the next day. So I need to maybe wake up like 7 o'clock, get ready and go to work. And so one day I was talking to my husband, he wasn't my husband then, we were just dating. And so I was talking to him, I think it was around just after 12 midnight or just before 1 a.m. And we were talking. And I used to live with my mom. And so my mom just came out of the room and they call me Awu, right? And so my mom said, Awu, you still on the phone? And I just giggled, you know. And so she said, give me the phone, give me the phone. And I know my mom. Okay, so she took the phone from me and said to my husband, Albert, Awu isn't going anywhere. Could you guys hang up and go and sleep? You can continue again tomorrow. You guys have to go to work in the morning. And it was so funny. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. When you were dating, the things you used to do, so many couples, when they get married, those things become like just memories. They put it in the archives. They don't do that anymore. When was the last time you stayed up and spoke to your spouse about 1 a.m.? When was the last time you guys actually sat down and had a conversation where you could actually have a good laugh? You don't do that anymore. Why? Because you think I'm married, and then it becomes like, it's all mundane. You're not feeling the vibe anymore. But if you're able to connect and go back to those days where the relationship was all, when the butterflies haven't flown out of your bellies yet, that kind of thing. When you see your spouse coming and you have all butterflies, then you're seeing them and you're like, hey, that's mine. But if you want to actually maintain that kind of a relationship with your spouse, you don't need to put that you don't need to put that aside. But actually what you need to do is that once a while, I call it walking down memory lane. Once a while, just walk down memory lane and just revisit what you used to do before. And it's important that you do that once a while. Revisit it. I think my guest is having issues. Let me see what's going on. So as you get married and you don't want to fall into that a routine of just being married for marriage sake and not just being, oh, we're married, where you're just there, you don't even know what's going on, you don't know what's going on in each other's lives. It's boring. But you can actually restart, re-kick, revisit, walk down memory lane, talk about the things you used to do when you were dating, talk about all the places you used to go, the things you used to talk about. It's important. But we don't need to forget that we all have wants, we all have desires, we all have different things that we bring into the marriage. And so when we're able to pitch all these things in, listen, as humans, we change, we evolve. And as we evolve, the relationship or the marriage also evolves with us. Okay, so if you don't change and you remain where you are, then you are stagnant. And when you are stagnant in your marriage, it is not beautiful anymore. But if you want to have a marriage that is full of fun, full of love, full of all the ideas that you had prior to getting married, then you need to maintain it. And when I talk about, people say that, well, if you don't have expectations, you don't get disappointed, which is a lie. Everybody needs to go into a marriage with an expectation. However, the expectation needs to be realistic. You don't need to think that maybe you have an expectation that when I get married, my husband needs to massage my feet every evening. This can be part of your routine. It is achievable. It is done. It can be done. But that should not be why you're getting married. You're getting married because of something. And so when people say, "Oh, don't have any expectations, just go into it," are you for real? No. Have an expectation, but make it realistic. My expectation is that I would have date night with my husband when I get married. And so when I get married, I still need to maintain that date night. I need to go on a date night. When I was single, I used to love traveling. When I'm getting married, I need to know that this person I'm getting married to is okay to be my travel buddy, to go traveling with me. That was my expectation when I was a single girl. Now, that is the expectation I brought into my marriage, that I want a travel buddy. Do I travel with my husband? Yes. I love traveling. That was my expectations. And so it wasn't unrealistic. Okay, so make your expectations real, make your expectation realistic. Are you somebody that loves to pray? Okay, do you want somebody that can pray with you? Yes. Is that your expectation? Yes. It is not unrealistic. It means that you need to have a prayer buddy, somebody you can pray with together. Okay, so have an expectation and make sure that that expectation is real, so that you can maintain it. I remember last year, I think we were having the Real Mom Summit, and it was one of the ladies were talking about traveling, and my husband was actually on the program. I didn't even know until his comments came up, and he said, "Sandra can't stay 3 months without traveling." That was my expectation when I was a single girl. I brought it into the marriage. Now, is he my travel buddy? Yes. Okay, so it's not unrealistic. But in order for me to keep my spice and the fire and the passion burning, I need to take a break from the everyday life, from the everyday routine of going to work, coming home, going to work, coming home, and make sure that it fits into the marriage. So when I travel with my husband, what I'm doing is that I am spicing it up. Listen, when I talk about traveling, don't get any crazy ideas. It's not about any expensive holidays or any expensive vacation. It can just be a weekend away from home. Okay, just book yourself into maybe a bed and breakfast or into a hotel. If you have money and you want to do luxurious holidays once a year, yeah, go for it. I'm all about that. Okay, and so make time, at least, listen, at least twice a year. Make sure you are away from home. I do mine quarterly. Why I don't do extravagant vacations during those time allocated to me, but I am out of the house. There are times where I want to just go on my own. Me and just my girlfriends, we just go away for the weekend. There are times where I go with my kids, my daughters, we go away. There are times when it's just me and my husband. And these are the kind of things that when you bring into your marriage, it becomes real. Okay, you're spicing it up. And the thing is, when you're away from home, you break that little thing, that little stride that you have at home, you break it. And so when you come back, you're refreshed. You're able to talk about things that you saw, things that you did, things that you ate, places that you went to. It helps you to maintain that marriage. Makasia, good morning, sweetheart. Thank you for hopping on. She says, "What if your partner is totally opposite of your realistic expectations?" That is why you need to know the person you're getting married to. When you're dating, you need to talk about stuff. It's not Dating is not just, "Have you eaten?" Yes. "How was your day?" Good. What dress are you wearing? Skirt and top. Dating is like an interview. I want to get to know you. And so these are my expectations. They are realistic expectations. So they have to meet the person that you're going to get married to. So, like I said, when I was single, I used to love traveling. Now, when I met my husband, he realized that this is me, because there's some weekends I just tell him, "Listen, this weekend I'm not around," because I used to have a friend. She moved out of England, and so that pattern actually broke. But she was my travel girlfriend. She was my travel buddy, and we used to go traveling like once a week or twice a month. We used to go somewhere just to relax. Okay, and so my husband got to me that this is me. These are the kind of things that I expected my whoever I'm going to get married to be able to fit into that kind of a criteria of my life. Now, when I fit into your life, you should be able to fit into mine as well. And so that is why when you're dating, it's important that you get to know who you're dating. Is this person, do you have a future with this person? Are you able to connect with this person? Is this person going to meet that realistic expectation of yours? Or are you guys going to say, "We're going to manage"? And the moment you say you're going to manage, then you're in trouble. The moment you're saying, "Oh, I can't really do it, but I'm going to manage," then your relationship is in trouble, because you don't need to be thinking of manage, I'll manage, I'll manage, I'll manage. No, listen, it's okay to have that kind of a compromise, but there are certain things that you don't compromise on. Okay, so like I said, I love traveling. I still love traveling. Okay, and so when my husband got to know that this girl loves traveling, now is he able to fit into that kind of a criteria of my life, that kind of expectation? Yes. If he wasn't into all that travel thing and isn't able to understand that my wife needs to travel, or my girlfriend at that time loves traveling, then it becomes a bit of an issue. Or if I go away and he has problems with where's my wife gone to, where's my woman, where is she, then it also becomes a problem. But when that thing is there where you're able to understand that this is it, listen, if you know me for some time, you get to know that I love going out. Yeah. Hi, Victoria. Hi, Anita. Thank you all for coming on. You get to know that I love going out. Okay. And I love going out not just because I love going out. I love going to places of interest. And trust me, when I got married, all these things became like my husband's assignment. So he would go and source out the places where he thinks that my wife will love. And then he would come back to me and make sure that, listen, Sandy, I'm taking you out this weekend. Sandy, you won't believe what I've gone to see. And he's the one that normally plans my travel stuff. He's the one that will tell me, I've seen this nice place and I think you would love it. Or I've seen this restaurant and I think you would love it. Or let's go and try this thing out. Or somebody told me this. Or somebody told me that. Okay, so these little things is what makes your marriage beautiful. I can be at home. I can be on, let's say, because I do events as well. And so there are times where I get to know about other stuff. And then I would share with him, would you mind if we go to this place? Would you mind if we try this thing? I'm not doing it just because I think I have the means to do it. No. Like I always say, it doesn't have to be extravagant. You don't need to spend an obscene amount of money to make sure that you have a good date night. No. You don't need to have an obscene amount of money to be able to do things in life that makes you and your spouse happy. No. It is all about the two of you doing it together. During the lockdown from 2020 to 2021, even like the beginning of 2022, there wasn't much going on in my side of the world. And do you know how we're spending our dates? We were going on walks. We used to walk, and it's become a part of us that every Sunday after lunch, we would take our kids and we would go for a walk. It could be a walk to the park. It could be a walk to, we have a pond, a dark pond not too far from my house. We would walk there. It's about 30 to 45 minutes walk. So we would walk there and walk back. And these became a part of us. Why? Because we didn't have the freedom to go out into restaurants. We didn't have the freedom to travel. And so these are the kind of things you do that maintains the marriage. Okay, so you break out of the routine and spice it up. Little things spice it up. All right. I love cards. Trust me, I love cards. And so my husband got to know that I love cards. And you know what he does? Because he travels a lot. He buys me a card from every destination he gets to. Every country my husband visits, he makes sure he sends me a card. As soon as he gets to the hotel, he'll ask them, how do I mail a card to my wife? And then he'll put a card in the post for me. Why? Because I love it. And that is how I see that, okay, this man thinks about me. Okay, so get to know the person you're in the relationship with. Get to know the person you're married to. And then you make it real. Cards usually cost about 59p, which is less than a pound. Or, or you can buy the nicer ones, about $2.99 or $3.99, and just mail it. Okay. And so it's not about the money you're spending, but it's about, I always say it's not about how expensive the gift is, it's about the thought behind the gift. So my husband can buy me a bar of chocolate, which is 99 pence, and I would love it. Why? Because I don't think that he has to spend £10 to get me a box of chocolate. It is a thought. Okay. I saw a bar of chocolate. I thought my wife is going to like it, and then I buy it for her. Okay. So it's the thought that counts. It's not about the extravagant of the present. If you have money and you want to do the extravagant, guys, just go for it. Okay. And so, like I said, if you want to break out of the mundane and maintain the relationship, do things that are realistic. Plan a once in a lifetime vacation. It's very important. It doesn't matter how long you've been together, but put money aside every month. Say, listen, maybe in the next 2-3 years, I want us to go to a vacation in Barbados, or we want to go to a vacation in the Dominican Republic, or we want to go somewhere. Have a destination in mind and work towards it. And so every month you put a bit of money on the side until you are able to to gather that kind of money and just do once in a lifetime vacation with your spouse. It's very, very important. It gives you something to talk about every time. It gives you all the memories. Okay, I've walked down memory lane, and so I have quite a lot of memories down in my bucket. But I still want to gather a bit more. Makeza say, how about your husband's realistic expectations? Were you able to fit into his? Yes, that is what I said. That if before you get married, you need to know each other's realistic expectations. What does he expect of you? My husband's love language is quality time. All right, and so I make sure that he gets that quality time from me. It could be that we just need to just sit down watching TV, or even not talking at all, just sitting down, just me putting my legs on him, or he rubbing my legs on me, just playing with his bald head, that kind of a thing, and just spend that quality time with him. Yes, I meet my husband's realistic expectations as well, which is very important. Now, let me tell you one unrealistic expectation that my husband had. My husband wanted to eat fresh meal every day. When we got married, he wants to have his meal fresh every day. I'm still a working class girl. I'm a career woman. I'm a go-getter. I'm a very busy person. And so he got to a point, I said to him, listen, sweetie, I love cooking. I could cook all day if I have the time to do that. But not when I'm tired and I'm home, or I've just come home and then you want to eat fresh meals. No, I can't do it, because then it makes me very tired. And so you need to now start getting used to being able to eat the food that I've cooked, maybe the previous day. Maybe I'll make a pot of stew or soup or something. Or I don't mind cooking the rice and the yam and the pasta and the potatoes and stuff, just to mix it up. But when I'm home and I feel like cooking every day, I will do that. Now, during the lockdown, I did that. Okay, I was cooking every day. I was baking almost every day with my kids. And so that was a very unrealistic expectation of thinking that my wife needs to cook a fresh meal every day. It's unrealistic because uh, uh, it wasn't something that I could meet up to. Okay, and so he had to now rethink that. Yes, I understand where this girl is coming from. Now, I didn't say it in a very aggressive way. Neither did I say it in a very harsh tone. But I had to let him understand that if I go to work and I get back home after 8 p.m. or after 7 p.m., I can't go to the kitchen and start cooking a meal for you. All right. So now I would cook and I'll put in the fridge. When you get home before me, could you warm it up and eat? Or you can wait for me to get home. I warm it up, we add something to it, and we can both eat. Okay. And so you need to understand that like I said, don't have that kind of unrealistic expectations, especially when you have a spouse that is very, very busy. Now, I don't expect my husband to be with me 24/7 at home. Why? Because he's a very busy person and he travels a lot. And so because he's traveling, I can't expect him to be with me every time. But listen, when my husband is at home with me, I make sure that the time spent is time well spent. Okay, and so it's important that you understand the kind of a person you're married to. So Makezia, yes, I had to fit into his thing. I mean, it's important that you fit into each other's. It has to be realistic. If it's not realistic, I'm sorry, but it won't work. And so it has to be very, very realistic. All right. So I had to fit into his expectations as well, but the realistic one. Now, date night. I know quite a lot of people can't go on to date night, but listen, life happens. All right. So you have kids, you have stuff going on, and you can't say you're going to go out every weekend, or you're going to go on date every weekend or every week or whatever. But you can create your own date nights. Like, give yourself time. So schedule it. Maybe say once a month we're going to go out. Create date nights. And with creating date nights, it doesn't have to necessarily be something expensive. You can just even recreate dates that you've been on before when you were dating. Listen, one of my favorite date nights is even spending at home. I love date nights at home where we do movie nights. Okay, so we have our popcorn, we have our drink, we have stuff. We just sit down and watch a very nice movie. That's part of my date night because I'm a very homely person. I love spending time at home. So it's important that you create date nights. It keeps your marriage going. It spices your marriage up. Date nights are very, very, very important. I think yesterday I shared on my Facebook that every couple should need to have a love song. You need to have a love song. Every married couple, irrespective of who you are, whether you're a bishop, reverend, pastor, whatever, but you need to have one love song that keeps you guys going. When you put that love song on, you're like, damn, this is our song, you know. And I remember, we have our love song, but a few years ago, there's a song by, what's his name? What's this guy's name? Bruno Mars. Okay, there's this song by Bruno Mars where, when I see your face, you know, for, pardon me, I can't really sing it up because my voice is not too good. If maybe Cheska was here, she should have sung it better for me, you know. And so, anytime I hear that song, I'm like, yeah, this is our song. Anytime I hear that song, okay. So every couple needs to have a love song that they play. It's important that you have a love song. It keeps you going. Once a while, just bang it on, grab your spouse, and just dance to it. I've danced with my husband with even no music before. My kids are like, what are you guys doing? Like, we're dancing. Where's the music? There's no music. We just feel like dancing. Okay. So little things like this helps you to maintain the marriage. It helps you to spice it up a little bit. Okay. Now, people think that in order for you to have all this spicing it up stuff, oh, my apostle, good morning. Apostle Douglas, good morning. It's so nice to have you on. I think my next Coffee on the Couch, guys, you don't want to miss it. I'm going to have Apostle Douglas on, and my goodness, Nana Chacha calls me the love guru, but trust me, I call Apostle the love guru. He is so loaded, very practical, very biblical, very spiritual, but man, you don't want to miss it. The next Apostle, this one there is like, you know, I'm just putting you on the spot. But next time on Coffee on the Couch, you're going to be my guest. So please get ready. I'll talk to you when we're done so we can plan this. Guys, it's important that you listen to Reverend Douglas. You wouldn't want to miss it. So this is the advert I'm doing now, that next time he's going to come on. All right. Okay. So it's important that every couple have a love song. Okay. Have a love song. Play it once in a while. Dance to it. Listen, grab your wife or your husband, wherever he is, and like, come on, let's just have this 5 minutes dance. And when you're done, go do whatever you have to do. Okay. Now, in order for you to spice your marriage up, don't hold on to grudges. Don't hold on to grudges. Listen, you can have arguments, but even that, it's a choice. Do you know that? Do you know having arguments is a choice? You can actually say, listen, this thing we're talking about, there's no point. A, B, C, D. Let's just trash it out and go. Don't keep it in. Don't hold on to it. Don't keep a scorecard if you want to have a good marriage. There's no point in keeping a scorecard. Okay, nobody is perfect. We all have flaws, and so talk about it, forgive, and then move on. Don't write it down. Last month you did this to me. The previous month you did this to me. If you keep a scorecard, you're not going to have a marriage that you want. If you want to have a marriage that is beautiful, full of fun, full of all the things that you desire, then don't keep a scorecard. But just make sure that you forgive one another. And when you err, apologize. I'm sorry for what I said. I'm sorry for how I behaved. I'm sorry for the things I did. I'm sorry. Forgive me. And let's move on. Don't keep a scorecard and just move on. Okay. It's important that you're able to talk about stuff as well. Talk about things that bother you. Don't sweep them under the carpet, because when the carpet is lifted up, the things that are going to come out is going to be disastrous, and you don't want to destroy your marriage. Okay, so you're married to the love of your life, unless that whoever you married to, you didn't love them. But if you're married to the person that you love, and the person loves you back, you're able to easily get over stuff. You're able to easily jump over hedges. Why? Because you don't want to lose the person you are in love with. You don't want to lose the person you are doing this lifelong journey with. So just do your part. And I've seen a number of couples that when one of them dies, it's not too long, the other one follows as well. Do you know why? Because the other person thinks, what is the point of me living if the person I'm doing life with is not here anymore? And so these are the kind of things that you need to hold on to. Build good, healthy marriages. Build memories. Memories are very important. And you recreate them as well. Okay. And so, like I said, once you have your love song, bang it on once in a while, have a good laugh, have a good time, and go on. Now, have a sense of humor. Having a sense of humor is very, very important. I personally, I don't think I can marry somebody that doesn't have a good sense of humor, because I love to have a good laugh. And so I need to have somebody that can have that good laugh with me, somebody that can share my jokes, somebody that can share his jokes, somebody that can make me happy. Okay. um we all say that you need to make your own self happy, but trust me, the person you're married to also brings a part of them of happiness into your life. You can't be married to somebody and always be miserable. You need to be married to somebody that adds up to the happiness that is already in you. All right. So it's a package. It comes as a package. So spicing it up. Now, when we talk about sex, right? There's some people that think that sex needs to be always spontaneous. Listen, spontaneous is beautiful, but there are times when you can't meet spontaneous. There are times where it doesn't have to be spontaneous. There are times where it needs to be scheduled. So you put on the schedule. You say, listen, every Wednesday or every Thursday. Was it one of our ladies, what, Yvonne, that says every Wednesday they've crossed it out. I mean, every Wednesday on their calendar is crossed out that this one is our day where we need to make sure we're enjoying ourselves. And so you can actually put sex time on your calendar. It gives you something to look forward to. All right. So it doesn't have to be just hot, kinky, and all that, but it has to be worth your while. All right. So you can't go through all this routine. Break out of the routine. If spontaneous or spontaneity is not working, make sure you put something else there. Put it on your calendar. Say to your sweetie, if it's your spouse or your husband or your wife, listen, I'm going to put sex time on our calendar. That twice every week, once every week, 3 times every week. Listen, don't let people put pressure on you that it has to be done 3 times or 4 times or 5 times in a week. It depends on how you guys feel. However, it's not about the quantity, it's about the quality. So you can get it 4 times in a week and it's nothing to write home about. What's the point? You can have it twice a week and it's everything that sets you up onto cloud nine. You're like, you're seeing the angels and all the stars. Okay. And so it doesn't have to be spontaneous, but it needs to be on your schedule. So you know that this is what we're going to do at this time. It gives you something to look forward to. Now, bringing some sort of fun into it. When was the last time you checked on your spouse during the day? Some people say, oh, well, but I come home to them every day. No. Do you check on them during the day? How do you communicate during the day? Are you able to send a quick text to say, oh, I'm checking up on you? Or do you call them during your break? Or do they call you during their break? These little things add up, and it helps you maintain a very beautiful marriage. Why? Because you're always talking about something. It gives you something to talk about. Now, I think it was one of us. I was having sessions with one of my clients, and we're talking about phone calls. And I say the only time that you see me pick up my phone when I have a client is either my husband is calling me or one of my kids is calling me. So these are the 2 times you see me pick up my phone. Why? Because I know it's important. I need to speak to them. So if my husband calls me and he is this time where he just wants to talk, I'm like, I have a client. Can I call you back? But if it's important, then I will listen to him. Okay. And so make sure that you're always talking, always listen. Just send texts, send messages to one another. How is your day going? Thinking about you. Can't wait to see you this evening. I think yesterday on the Real Talk Adult Chat, we were talking about these things, where you should be able to talk about things and not be afraid. Talk about things and not be scared. Talk about things and not feel that you're going to be judged. Okay, so prior to you getting married, you should be able to know that if I say this to my partner, he's not going to get upset. If I say this to my wife, she's not going to be upset. Okay, so create that part of you that is able to send messages to your spouse, like, listen, I'm waiting for you this evening, or I got a new lingerie and I can't wait to put it on for you to see this evening. It's important that you're able to talk about things like this. Be a little erotic. Okay, be a little erotic. Don't. And sometimes I think that Christians, we can like put ourselves in the box where we're too prim and proper. We think that saying this to your spouse makes you a sinner. Listen, if you want to know, go back and read Songs of Solomon. Well, Solomon talks about, listen, is God real exotic things there? Go and copy some and just send it to your spouse. You're not being the devil incarnate. You're just being real. You're human. All right. So bring some fun into your marriage. Create that spark. Create that erotic thing. Where if you see your wife puts on something that is real, tell her, guys, don't be too stiff. Look at her and say, girl, you look sexy this morning, or girl, you look sexy this afternoon. Let your wife feel that, yes, she still appeals to you. Likewise, if your husband puts on his aftershave or his cologne or whatever he's put on, tell him, guy, I just love the smell. The smell on your skin sends me to cloud nine. Be able to create that kind of a vibe with one another. Check in with one another. If you put something on, like my husband, he's so funny. He won't start to talk, but you see him nodding when I put something on and it's nice. You wouldn't see him talk straight away, but you just see his head go like that. And so when I look at him, he'll just give me that kind of like a smile, but not a smile. Like I can't do it because I don't know how to do it. It's got like a little smile on the side of his lips where like, yeah, let me get this one. You know what I'm saying? So create that kind of a thing where you send, girl, you're looking hot today. I love this thing you're wearing. I love the new hairstyle. Oh, I love this lipstick on you. You smell good. Tell them. You can just be passing by your spouse and just brush his butt and say something, whisper something into his ears. Boy, could you just follow me upstairs? Or, that kind of a thing. Gel vibe. Marriage is long. You're in for a lifetime. And so you don't want to be in and be miserable. You want to be in and have fun. You want to be in and know that, listen, I'm doing life with you. So why do we have to make it boring? Why do we have to be miserable? Let's make it fun. Let's enjoy one another. Let's bounce off one another. Okay. I don't know if any of you do pillow fights, but pillow fights is one of the most beautiful things any couple can do, because then when you finish your pillow fight, how it ends is up to your own imagination. This one is hitting you the pillow. Oh, stop it! Oh, stop it! Oh, stop! How it ends is up to your own imagination. But guys, make it fun. Make your marriage work. Reverend Douglas is the love doctor. I'm trying, right? Make your marriage fun. Okay, you're doing it for a lifetime, and so don't be miserable. Don't be in and just stressing. Even when you hear your husband's car, parking in the drive, you're like, oh, he's home again. No, no, you should be excited when your spouse comes home. You should be excited when you hear their voice. You should be excited when you see their name appear on your screen from a text they've sent you, a phone call coming. You should be excited. But how do you get excited if you're not building it to make it exciting? You need to build it to make it exciting. Good morning, Auntie Nana. Are you back or you're still in your second home? God bless you so much, my Swagalicious sister. You see, it's important that you keep the spice going. And you know what? If you have kids at home, your children look up to the way that their parents relate to one another. When they see their parents being exciting, being fun, being jovial, having a laugh, they copy that, and this is what they want to have in their own relationship as well. And I think I've shared it so many times on my lives, where I say my older daughter, she said she wants a husband like her dad. He says, I don't like the color, but I want a man like my father. I want to marry a man like my father. This is what your children should say. She doesn't want a black person, but she wants she wants a man that has similar traits like her father. These are the kind of things that your kids should say about you. Do they want to see you? Do they want to have that kind of relationship? Yes. But if you're always on each other's necks, not talking and having it doesn't help. Okay. And so bounce off one another. Have fun. Create memories and recreate new ones every time. Every time, recreate new ones. Go somewhere. You don't need to spend an obscene amount of money to make one another happy. Just drive somewhere, drive to a park, take your picnic there, sit down, talk, get a book, let one person read and the other person listens. These little things, trust me, it builds up the marriage, it spices it up. So all through October, and it becomes a habit, because once you keep doing it, and all through October, I'll be leaving all the snippets on my Facebook, so you can just go there and read. Every day I put something very little there for you to just think about. Now, once you keep doing that, okay, it becomes a habit. And once it's a habit, it's very difficult to break. All right. So it's important that you listen, remember, just create memories for your kids. There's something that I've even forgotten, and then my daughters will come and say, "Mommy, do you remember when we did this? Do you remember when we went here? Do you remember when we did this?" So it's part of that as well. Okay, recreate new ones. Once a while, just instead of you having breakfast every day at home, just once a while, just pop into a cafe, just sit down, have breakfast, talk, and come back home. Get a very interesting book that both of you enjoy. Let one person lie down and the other person reads. It adds up to it. Get a cup of coffee every day or or every weekend. Sit outside or sit in your living room, have your breakfast and talk. It's important you maintain that spark, maintain that thing. It's crucial. When was the last time you kissed your spouse? When was the last time your spouse even kissed you on their way out? If you can't remember, then something is wrong somewhere. You should kiss your spouse every day, at least twice. One in the morning and one in the evening. Kiss your spouse every day. Every day, kiss your spouse. Okay? Just even if it's just like maybe your wherever, on the lips, on the cheek, on the forehead, just make sure that you maintain that kind of physical touch. Physical intimacy needs to be there. Physical intimacy doesn't have to end up with having sex, but it has to end up with you being close proximity with one another. So it could be just a touch, it could be a kiss, it could be a hug, but make sure that you are in that kind of a close proximity where your bodies touch. And there's some touches that when somebody touches you, when your spouse touches you, you're like, what's this person thinking about? And then you make your own. Marriage is beautiful. Oh, thank you so much, Emmanuel. Thank you. It's beautiful, okay? And spend time with one another. Spend time. I've said this thing over and over and over and over again. Spend time. Doesn't matter how busy both of you are, but at least, even if it's once a week, spend quality time together. Talk about how your week ends, how your week was. If you can't, if you well, it depends on a lot of people. But if you live in England or if you live in the Western world, well, sometimes couples their shift times and schedules or work times don't actually meet, and so one person is rushing out, the other person is coming in, and so you might not have time every evening to sit down and talk. But if you can, at least once a week, when both of you are at home, sit down and talk. Talk about how your week went. Talk about the ups and downs. Um, some people were asking me that, okay, because of what you do and all the problems you listen to, how do you vent? How do you cope? And I said, one, I'm not emotionally attached to my clients. I make sure I detach my emotions from whatever problems they bring. And two, when their problems are overwhelming, I vent with my husband. He's the one I talk to. He's the one I'm able to share stuff with. Okay. So it's important that you're able to sit down and talk. Talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, the disgusting. Talk about everything. It can be something very silly, but talk about it. Make sure that you have you're communicating and you're listening. Communicating no, but sit down, gel, talk, think, bounce off one another, and just take life one day at a time. Rebuild your marriage one day at a time. Listen, there are times where your spouse will be very quiet, and you're thinking, what's going on? There might be something going on that they don't even feel like telling you at that particular time. But listen to what is not even being said. Their body language will tell you stuff that is not even being said. So you kind of like you get it, you get in the groove. All right. Good morning. Good morning, Angela. So nice to have you on. Good morning, Auntie Amma. Good morning, everyone. So yeah, we're talking about spice it up on Coffee on the Couch. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to have my guest on this morning. I think there was a bit of technical hitches from his side. But hey, we're doing it. So we can actually maintain a marriage for as long as we're both alive. It's all about knowing what to do and doing it well. That is balance. Someone asked me what balance is, and I said balance means that doing what is right at the right time. Because you cannot do everything at the same time, but you need to do what is right at the right time, and it helps you find the balance. So you can be the most busiest person on earth, but you need to know when to balance it, when to have your family time, when to have your work time, when to schedule stuff, when to put stuff away, when to do things together, when to go away together. And so if you want to maintain your marriage, please make sure you have date nights, you have vacations, you have stuff to do together, you have your love song, you have your sex on your calendars if you can't do spontaneous. But listen, even with the sex time on your calendars, there are times where 5 minutes that you have is a 5 minutes well spent. So it can be just a quickie, but it's important that you both enjoy it. So it's important that you have all these little things going for you. It's important that you're spending time together. Bounce off one another, check in with one another all through the day. Check with one another, listen. And I know that sometimes people say you don't need to. Why I'm going out, why do I need to tell my spouse? I'm sorry. If you're going out, just text me, let me know where you're going and who you're going with. That's all. I'm not going to stop you. But it's important. Listen, it maintains respect in the marriage, okay? And so they just don't get up and say I'm going out. No, I'm going out with my friends. We're going to A, B, C, D. When you get there, that's what we do. When I get to my destination, I could just be going to visit my mom, but when I get to where I'm going, I send my husband a text. I'm like, I'm at my mom's, or arrive safely at my mom's, so he knows I'm there. And you know what? It puts your mind at rest, because if your husband says, maybe calls you, like I'm coming home, and you wait 2 hours and they're not still home, knowing that the journey is half an hour, it keeps you on the edge. But if you know where they are, listen, I'm stuck in traffic, but I'll be home soon. It relaxes you. It makes you all right, and it gives you that respect. Okay, my husband respects me enough to let me know where he is. My wife respects me enough to let me know where she is and who she is with. Okay, and so if you're in a marriage that you're going to do this forever, then you need to put certain measures in place to make sure that your marriage is on the right track. And when you think that you're falling back into routine and you feel that it's going to be stale, spice it up. Do something out of the ordinary. Get cinema tickets. Just go watch a movie. Buy a bucket of popcorn and share. Dip your hands in them and share and watch a movie. Come back home, talk about it, have a good laugh about it. You don't need to spend an extravagant amount of money to make each other happy. No, like I said, it could be just buying a bar of chocolate for £1, but it is the thought behind the bar of chocolate that counts, and not how much it costs. If you have the money and you want to just spoil your spouse, by all means go for it. But in whatever you do, just make sure that you don't fall into the rut where you don't do things together anymore. Plan a massage night. Could be once a month, could be twice a month, could be once every quarter, but make sure you're doing something intimate together. You know, you can just get all these essential oils, body oil and all that. And before you do your massage night, please make sure you have your scented candles in your room. Make sure the lights in your room are not overpowering. Just turn them down a bit, or you can just switch off your light completely and just use your candles. So it gives you that kind of a romantic ambience in your room. You don't need to spend a lot of money to get these body oils. You can even just use normal baby oil, or just I've come to love this almond oil. Oh, I love the smell of almond oil on my skin. It relaxes me, just the smell of almond oil. All right, so just pop into the shop, get almond oil for the skin, please. They have the one for the skin and they have the one for the hair. Get the one for the skin, and just do have your massage night. Okay, how it ends is up to your own imagination. Just my gist for you. How your massage night ends is up to your own imagination. But these little things adds up. It adds up a lot to your marriage. You just both fall asleep in each other's arms, and man, you wake up and you're so refreshed because you had a good time. Okay, so don't let your marriage fall into the rut of just waking up every morning and going to work and coming back home and going to sleep, and everyone is doing their own thing. No, make sure that, listen, be your own individual, but also be part of the unit. Be part of a couple. Don't lose your individuality because you think you're married. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that doing things together helps you to maintain your marriage. It helps to be beautiful. You don't want to lose yourself in the process of being part of the marriage, but do things together with your spouse. Yes, I must say it's indeed the thought behind every act. Absolutely, it's the thought that counts. It is not because if you have a lot of money, let's say you have £1,000 and you give me £10, you've done nothing. But if you have £10 and you give me £5, I know you've sacrificed a lot for me. Why? Because you've divided it into two. Okay, so it's not about the act. It is about the thoughts behind the act that actually counts, right? So it's important that you're able to maintain your marriage, build that kind of an erotic conversation once a while with your spouse. Once a while, have a very right. So let me just give you a gist, right? Now, about a week or two ago, there was a couple that had a bit of a misunderstanding because the wife sent a message to the husband saying, "I have no panties on. Come back home quickly." And the guy got upset. But why are you sending me this? Blah, blah, blah. Now, I showed the message to my husband, and my husband was like, "If it was me that this message was sent to, I would be, I would just be running back home." All right. So it's important that you know how to have an erotic conversation with your spouse. Be able to know how to have a pillow talk. Be able to know how to have that kind of a dirty talk. With it, it doesn't change who you are. It's a magical thing that actually bonds you, because then when they're not with you, you start thinking about the things they said. All right, you start thinking about the things they said. Oh, this is what my wife whispered into my ears. This is what my husband whispered into my ears, and so it keeps it going. Now, if before you start this kind of a conversation with your spouse, please make sure you know that they are receptive to what you're sending them, because you can't send an erotic conversation to somebody that is not in that kind of position to respond to you, and they might think, where is this coming from? All right, so make sure that you know who you're sending it to. Now, like my husband said, if I was the one that got this message, I'll just be running back home because I know there's something waiting for me. On the other hand, this husband got upset that the wife sent him a message saying that, hurry up and come back home because I've got no panties and I'm nude under the sheets. But it's actually beautiful if a spouse can send this to you and say, listen, I'm beautiful beneath the sheet. I'm waiting for you. It's beautiful, but make sure you know who it is that you're dealing with. And so, guys, this morning, I just want you to just spice up your marriage. Don't fall into the rut where it's just routine, 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 routine. Break the routine a bit. Have fun. Go on dates. Go on walks. Have coffee together. It's October. If you live in this part of the world, go to Starbucks and try their pumpkin spice latte. It's beautiful. Or the caramel latte, or the listen, because I love coffee, so I've got quite a bit of coffee stuff going on in my mind at the moment. But hey, marriage is beautiful. Don't make it boring. Don't let your marriage fall in the rut where you don't do things together, where because of issues or misunderstandings or conflicts or arguments, and so your marriage is not being boxed in. Talk about things that need to be talked about. Sort things that need to sort out. Sort them out and then move on. It's very, very important. Good morning, Sister Margaret. It's so nice to have you on. Oh, wow. Thank you so much for having on. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's important that you talk about things, okay? You don't need, like I said, you don't need to be a millionaire to make sure that your spouse is happy. No, the little things that you do, the mundane things that you do. Girl, you're looking pretty in this dress. I love your butt in this skirt. I love the shorts you're wearing. I love this new bra you've got on. I love this new lingerie you have on. My husband, I love this new cologne you have on. I love this aftershave. Do things together that will spice the marriage up. It doesn't have to be extravagant. And when you go out, ladies, you don't always be on the receiving end. Don't wait for your husband to always buy stuff for you. When you go out and you see things that you think your husband will love as well, please buy it for them. It could be a shirt, it could be an aftershave, it could be whatever you think your husband loves. Okay, buy it for them. All right, it's very important. Now, my husband is into perfumes. He does perfumes. Okay, and so I'm getting to know a bit about all these guys smell, the masks, the aftershaves, the whatever it's called. I'm getting that. And listen, the perfume oils, they're so beautiful. Please make sure you have a perfume oil for your husband. Go out and get them. If you're in my part of the world and you need to have a perfume oil for your spouse, just inbox me and I'll make sure that my husband gets one on the way for you. Okay, it's all about TC perfumeries and cosmetics. So if you want to know, just inbox me and I'll give you more on that. But hey, marriage is beautiful. It's a lifelong thing. Don't be in it and be oh, the sun is getting my face. Don't be in it and be miserable. but build a healthy, happy home that your kids would want to be in, would want to see their parents happy, and so they want to have that kind of a model home when they grow up. It is beautiful. So all through this month of October, we're spicing it up, and once it becomes a habit, you wouldn't break out of it. Okay, so God bless you so much. Thank you all for coming on. Have a beautiful weekend. Have a happy Saturday. And until I come your way again, with this time I'm saying it so he can't hide from me. But hey, this is my announcement for today. Reverend Douglas is going to be my next guest on Coffee on the Couch. Okay, and I'll see when he'll be available. But Coffee on the Couch, my next guest is going to be Reverend Douglas, and he's very practical. He's very, man, you don't want to miss it. And so next time on Coffee on the Couch is going to be that. All right. So God bless you so much. God bless you all for coming on and for staying. Please go out there and build healthy, happy marriages. It's important that both of you are happy in it together, because it's a lifelong commitment, and you don't want to be in and be bored. You don't want to be in and be miserable. If there are issues, seek professional help, seek therapy, seek counseling, get a relationship coach, get somebody to help you to build your marriage back up again, because marriage is beautiful. All right. Now, I want you all to be praying together. If you don't know how to pray, just say, Lord, we present our marriage before you. We pray that you help us to build happy homes, that God will be in it. All right. Please add the surname, okay? Because your brother is also Reverend, right? Okay, he's Reverend Douglas Asante. All right. So he's going to be my guest next time, and he's full of wisdom. He's very practical person. My goodness, you don't want to miss this next time on Coffee on the Couch. So until I come your way again next time, the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. Go through this week with the confidence and assurance that greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. The Lord loves you, and so do I. Have a good one. Always, I'm your host, Sandra D. God bless you.